And welcome back to MTG Grinders. We're at the quarterfinals, round 2, where Luke took out game 1.
And that means Byron's on the play. And he's leading with a Sandstep Citadel.
Now we got a small peek at Byron's sideboarding in between matches. And we had some, I think it was Drowned Sorrows and Bile Blights come out, and some End Hostilities come in.
Yeah.
So
I think that's right.
So not too worried about the smaller creatures, the tokens and things like that. More worried about obviously the Siege Rhinos and Wingmate Rocks and trying to sweep some boards. Now we'll wait and see if Luke has another Thoughtseize. To follow up last turn when he played 3 of them in a row. He's certainly having a large think about his second turn here.
Thinking about it, yeah. Fleecemane Lion.
Fleecemane Lion. Alright,
Yep.
Taking one from the caves.
It looks like an earlier printing of Cape of Quellos as well.
So we've got a Fleecemane Lion versus a Sylvan Catrid. I'd love a Corsair to come out so we can sneak peek at the top of the deck. But apparently I'm not getting my wish. We know Byron has them in his deck. We saw them last game. But I'm not getting my wish with seeing the top card, unfortunately.
It looks like Byron's considering an attack. If Luke's considering an attack, I apologise.
Well, the Catrid doesn't really stand up to the Fleecemane Lion so well.
Yeah, and you don't block here, you just take the 3 and just carry on to the next phase.
Yep. So absolutely the right move from Byron.
Now, he's sacrificing his Windswept Heath, and I think he's just deciding what colour he wants. Like, he knows he wants to get a forest or a plains, he just wasn't entirely sure which one. He's got a forest.
Obviously, it all depends on what's he got in his hand, but
Yep.
this way he's sort of got 2 of any colour.
Yeah.
And out comes the Anafenza, 4/4 body, and we'll add counters to the Fleecemane Lion as well.
Now, they can't be confused with the Fleecemane being monstrous, because normally when you monstrous a creature, it gets a +1/+1 counter or several, depending on how big the monstrosity is. And that's more of a reminder that your creature is monstrous, as opposed to making it monstrous in the first place.
Because Fleecemane Lion, when it becomes monstrous, receives hexproof
and indestructible.
And indestructible, as well as that +1/+1 counter.
Yeah. The counters were designed in the design of the card. There's a Glare of Heresy taking out Anafenza. But yeah, in the design of Monstrosity, the counters are there as a reminder.
Yep.
But and they, I believe R&D actually lessened the amount of +1/+1 counter granting in the set. Just so it's not confused. Just to avoid confusion, really.
In the Theros block.
In Theros block, yep.
Very interesting. So the Fleecemane comes through for another 3. Land gets fetched. And we're back with Rhinos again.
Standard has really become the Siege Rhino format, hasn't it?
Oh, very much so. You've got to be able to deal with the Siege Rhino. It's, a 4/5 trample that's, more, you're going to run into it at every single Friday Night Magic and every single tournament that you play at.
Yeah, well, I'm looking over the previous rounds, and the amount of, because this is the top table for the entire tournament, isn't it?
Yes.
And the amount of Abzan that's appearing in the matches, like obviously there's been Maladu and Tima and Jeskai, but there's just been multiple Abzan decks.
We've mentioned 4 of the clans. What's the clan that's missing from there? Sultai. We haven't really seen Sultai yet. Hopefully we do before the end of the day. It's good to see that every single clan, though, that they're even enough that all the clans are represented.
Well, that's right. I remember a week ago when Sidisi Whip was all the rage, and you're reading a lot of pro articles or whatever, and they're talking about how to beat Sidisi Whip, and it's still a strong deck, and it hasn't. I don't believe it's necessarily weaker, but it's just taken a step backwards in the past few days.
Well, Bile Blight and Drown in Sorrow have gone from sideboard cards to main deck cards. Maybe not both of them. To counteract things like Hornet Queen. Anafenza has become a main deck card to counteract the whipping back of creatures. And so we've seen the other clans rise in popularity due to the success of Sidisi Whip.
And that's something that I like about it. It shows a healthy standard format when, if a deck rises to the top, give it a few weeks and then some more decks will prey on it. You've
also got to give props to Wizards R&D to design and playtest and research all the clans enough that all 5 of them are being, played and successful.
And that's right, especially when you consider that they're just a handful of people who have a few months to test the format and test the sets. And
we've got a Thoughtseize here showing 2 lands.
The best Thoughtseize. Research and the Wizards R&D, the design and development teams, they've got a few months to test the format to make the sets. The design of the set takes longer, but tuning the standard format, they've only got a few months, and they're only a handful of people. The moment the set gets released, the set goes live, the entire world of Magic players have much longer time to try and crack the format.
And they've got and that's a worldwide thing. So cards like Treasure Cruise that are printed at 7 and 1 blue with Delve as a common. Surely they didn't expect the success of that particular card.
Well,
they thought
I think they knew the delve mechanic would be strong, with cards like Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, Murderous Cut. But I don't think they expected it to be this powerful across all of the formats.
And Luke coming in with an attack with the Siege Rhino. Back to the game. Facing down 3 soldier tokens.
Now, is he? Did he indicate if he's attacking Elspeth or?
He didn't.
But I think the assumption is that he's attacking Elspeth.
Well, we'll certainly see. Blocking with 2, so that would be 2 damage trampling over.
Yep, I think he's playing around Abzan Charm, because Abzan Charm can put 2 +1/+1 counters on Siege Rhino. In which case, because two of the damage was soaked up, that would have put Elspeth on 1 in that situation.
Yep. Also, blocking with the 2 leaves Elspeth on 3 before the hero's downfall, of course, leaving Elspeth to be able to deal with the Siege Rhino.
Yes, that's definitely another reason to do it.
I reckon we'll see another Siege Rhino next turn. Because I think I saw it this time. It's not a prediction this time. I reckon I got the sneak peek at the top of Luke's library there, and there's another Siege Rhino just waiting to be put out onto the battlefield and taking a little more life. He scribed to the top there.
After thinking about it, but he definitely left that card on top.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get a look at Byron's hand.
Now, we did see his hand earlier, and he had 2 lands. Now, obviously he's drawn a card since then. And he's played a land, so...
So it's a Sorin?
Yep, that's a Sorin.
And so Sorin comes out, making a vampire?
I think that's what I would do here. I think what we're seeing is just the thought, do I want to play this Planeswalker across from a trample creature?
Yeah. And it's just trying to give yourself more time at this point in time.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because he's got a fleece mate which could be monstrous, and a siege rhino. And as I said a little earlier, I believe the card draw was another siege rhino.
That gives you some thought of whether or not to potentially go for the life total. But Soren is capable of gaining back a lot of that life. So
a huge amount of life in a short period of time.
So you'd have to have a plan to deal with Soren. And I don't know if we actually saw who is attacking here, but we'll find out when combat damage resolves.
Well, if they're both coming at Soren,
yeah,
there's possibly no blocks whatsoever.
No blocks.
And Soren just gets sacrificed. A Scry, that was an Urborg, I believe, going at the bottom.
And that's a siege rhino.
Wingmate Rock. Maybe I was wrong.
Well, the art is similar enough in the shapes that you could have made the mistake if it was just a quick glance.
Well, it's not like he held it up to the camera for me, so...
No. But Wingmate Rock is really applying the pressure.
It's certainly going to apply a clock to the game.
I mean, that's 6 points of evasion, 4 points of trample, and a potential 4 points of indestructibility. Versus a 1/1, a 2/2 flyer, and a wall.
And I think if you're in Luke's position at this point in time, you're not cocky or anything like that, but you're certainly feeling confident.
Yeah, definitely.
Byron wants to draw one of his end hostilities.
Yeah. Now, he did just crack a fetch and shuffle his library, so whatever he kept on top last turn is gone. And I feel like he might have done that on purpose.
I really do think that card was a siege rhino.
And yes, that was definitely a siege rhino.
Yep.
That's actually hilarious.
Byron comes out with a siege rhino of his own.
Well, we're about to see 3 siege rhinos on the battlefield next turn.
I think we're just explaining life totals here.
Just confirming the life totals.
Yep.
Now, Byron is in top deck mode. He doesn't have a lot going on.
And he's just drawn another siege rhino.
Oh wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He doesn't have enough mana to play both of them this turn, unfortunately. But, oh wow.
So that's representing 6 life loss just in hand.
Yeah, that's...
Plus the Wingmate Rock.
Like, those siege rhinos are effectively 4 mana bolts to the face. Or 4 mana shard volleys. Is that 3 damage to the face, I think?
Let's stick with Bolt.
Okay.
We'll go with Bolt. So you're definitely attacking with the Wingmate Rock.
Yeah, I think you turn all your guys sideways here.
Because the only thing on his side of the field that you're scared of is the Siege Rhino, and you've got your Siege Rhinos.
He's leaving a Siege Rhino back. I think he might be thinking about going monstrous. Yeah, and he definitely is.
Uh-huh.
And he's getting in 6 damage, putting him 7.
Keeping these 2 Siege Rhinos in hand, in case of end hostilities or...
Yeah. Although end hostilities is significantly weaker now that Fleece Main Line is indestructible.
Yes. And he's not representing lethal, but quite a lot of damage with those Wingmate Rocks.
Yeah, he's playing. Luke's playing this game very, very patiently. He knows he's got the upper hand. He's not taking any significant risks. He's got, he has the advantage. Like, I feel like, what he's thinking is that only significant.
If he can attack and just get him down the 3 this turn, which will probably happen.
Yes, coming in with everything.
Yep. And he should gain life from the Wingmate Rock as well.
Yep.
Possibly a hero's downfall here.
Either downfall or maybe an Abzan charm.
Yep, there it is, the charm.
Mate Rock. So that leaves.
Now, do you match up your Rhino with their Rhino? And just bounce?
Yeah, I believe you do.
Yeah.
Throwing a soldier in for good measure. No, I think he's deciding whether or not to take the 3.
Well, 3 would put him onto 4.
Which isn't quite dead.
Yep. So we're just going with the 23 dice. I provided them with medium-sized 20-sided dice for extra life over 20. So the Wingmate Rock goes away. The Rhino and the token takes out the Rhino.
Yep.
The Fleece Mane takes out the
Sylvan Carrier.
The Sylvan Carrier.
And that looks like that's what's happening.
And through for 3.
Yeah, Byron's taking 3, goes to 4.
Goes to 4.
Which is in siege range. Is that a Fleecemane Lion?
A Fleecemane Lion.
Okay, I don't think he needs it, but at the same time, who's going to knock back a siege? Fleecemane Lion.
Yep, putting Byron to 1.
Just helpfully.
You'd love to see an end hostilities here.
Even an end hostilities
isn't going to help
because he's got a indestructible attacker.
Extends the hand, says thanks very much for the game. And that puts Luke into the semi-finals.
I would like to know if Luke tells Byron about the other siege rhino in his hand right here.